Well, good evening, my friends. Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing. Guys, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser and authorized CGC dealer located way up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And like I said, this is another live CGC unboxing. That's right, another box arrived here on Saturday. It was actually the second box. This was attached to the other box I did last, and for some reason it was held up in customs limbo for a couple of extra days. Anyways, it arrived on Saturday, so here I am now showing it off to you today. Guys, if you're new to the channel, if you're here just popping in for shits and giggles, this is a station that pretty much deals with comic books. So if you're a comic book fan, you love comic books, everything to do with comic books, comic book art, comic book speculation, talking about highs and lows in the comic book industry, this is the place for you. I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel, liking the content, and of course, hitting that notification bell, because you know what? I don't have any set schedule, so I go live sometimes on a moment's notice. By hitting that notification bell, you'll know when I'm going live. All right, guys, let's get to it. A pretty full box. I believe it's 4 orders here. 4 orders. So some really nice ones too, I think. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we'll go over to the chat section, you know, throughout this program. If you have any questions for me or you want to talk comics, join in our chat, but you have to be a subscriber to do so. So hit that subscribe button and join us in a few moments over in the chat section. You'll see some guys, I think, over in the chat section right now, shooting the breeze, and we'll join them in just a few moments. Okay, let's go to the overhead cam. And let me straighten my book out here. And the first book we have to share with you today is a copy of X-Men, one of my favorite X-Men books, X-Men 28. Featuring the first appearance of Banshee, and an 9, I wish, and an 8.0. Still a nice grade for this book. Next we have, and I also want to check for any cracks and chips. The last box that came in was attached. I guess it was attached to this particular parcel, and we had 3 or 4 chipped comics in that one. So far, so good. Here we've got a copy of Daredevil number 16. With, I think, the first team up of Daredevil and Spider-Man in the Daredevil series, I believe. So there it is in a 7.0. We also have, oh nice, a second appearance of the Vulture in Amazing Spider-Man number 7 in a 6.0. It's a nice looking book. What else we have for you guys? We also have a Hulk 102 in a 6.5. All right. Now this is the first. This is. I guess you guys all know how the Hulk series kind of worked. The Hulk came out, I think it was a 62 or 63. The first Hulk issue came out, and we had Hulk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right? Yes. And after number 6, they canceled the series, and so Hulk went over to Tales to Astonish. And Hulk's popularity grew in Tales to Astonish up until issue 101. And then in 102, we have the Hulk series continuing. And this is what we have to this day, I believe. So, yeah, and just what? Just about, 80, 180 issues later, we have the first appearance of Wolverine. Okay, let's go over to the chat and see what you guys are talking about over there as I put these comic books back in their sleeves. I'm back in the box. I have at least another 20 books to share with you as well. Let's go to the chat window and see who is here. Over there. All right. Digital Man. Hello, Kevin. New subscriber here. You have a great... Oh, thanks, Digital Man. I certainly appreciate you coming by, and welcome to the channel. The P-Man says, Kevin has an awesome channel. Thanks, P-Man. You guys are saying some really nice things today. I certainly appreciate that. Welcome, Digital. That's good. Make everybody feel welcome here for sure. Put all these books back. The Real Hyperion is here. How you doing, James? Good to see you. The P-Man says, hey, everybody. Sam, welcome, Digital. Get ready to be jealous of the sweet, sweet books you see. Yeah. You know what? I'm jealous of the sweet, sweet books I see. I'll be honest. I mean, realistically speaking, I have a nice collection, but boy, there's a lot of books here that I certainly wish I could add to my collection. Digital Man says, hello, everyone. Can't wait to see the doc. I'm right here. Hello, P-Man. John Sherwood's here. Hey, John, how's it going? We're getting through your books slowly but surely. Hello from Montreal. Hello, Henry. How's it going? Sam's here too. Hey, Sam, don't forget to hit the like and smash the subscribe, Digital. Yes, please do. I think Digital is subscribed now, so thank you for that. Manbat Detective says, hey, Doc. Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. Excellent. Got 29 people in the chat room right now, guys. How are you all doing? Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button while you're here. I think the new camera and the setup works really well now. Thanks, James. I appreciate it. I still need to pick up a better capture card. Well, I have the best capture card you can buy, but it's glitching. So I have to, when I have time, I'm going to try to look into that. Rob Bin's here. I'm here. Good. Yo, Wayne. How's it going? Adam says, hey, Kevin, nice X books. Yes, I agree. All right. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's see what else we have in the box. Maybe we have some more, let's do a lot of older books today, which is nothing wrong with that. A lot of Silver Age goodness. We got a Superman 233 classic cover. The Neil Adams cover, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. We have also a copy of Superman 200. We got quite a few DC books today. That's strange, isn't it? DC books. A book here that's on the rise. Marvel Spotlight on Werewolf by Night. Number 2. First appearance of the Werewolf by Night. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you want to get over to the Disney Channel and see the trailer for the Werewolf by Night Christmas. Is it a Halloween show, I think? Looks pretty cool, actually. I have no idea what it's about. Guys, I'm almost giving up on the whole Disney Plus stuff, to be honest with you, though. We have Detective Comics 349 and a 6.5 as well. As a second appearance of Blockbuster, it says there. I'll move these away. Wayne says, Hulk smash a like button. Dennis says, what's in the box? I'm getting there. Timely Werewolf. I don't know what to expect, guys. I don't know what to expect. I haven't checked out a She-Hulk yet, but I'm really not. Where I used to get excited when Thursday rolled around, I had to watch it right away. I'm waiting 2 or 3 days to watch it. I don't. I don't care. I don't really care. These Disney Plus shows are just kind of blah, 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 blah. Another missed opportunity, I think, over on Disney Plus. I want to see a show like a Boston Legal, right? If they're going that whole lawyer thing, sure, give me a Boston Legal and have the She-Hulk represent every episode. I don't want to see a continuity in the show. I want to see every episode as a new story, new characters, and have her defending people like Rocket Racer or the Owl or Stilt Man or whatever. Have her like representing some of these B tier characters. I think it would have been a lot, and an hour long. None of these half-hour baloney episodes. 1 hour long, like a legal drama with superheroes. I think that would have been a lot more fun than what they're giving us right now, because I really am not digging it. I'm not digging it, guys. Are you digging it? Are you digging She-Hulk? It's like all the other ones we've seen. I always say this. I enjoy them, but they're just meh. They're there. They're okay. Nothing to write home about. All right. What else do we have here? What else do we have here? We have a copy of Speaking of Daredevil, and we have the first appearance of Leapfrog in Daredevil 25 and a 7.5. I got to fix my camera. Hold on, guys. Oh, there we go. Right there. That's better. I think that's better. Hold on. Yeah, right there. Keeps moving on me. And a 7.5. We also have a copy. Yeah, a lot of detective books and Batman books. Brave and the Bold, 85. And a 7.0. So these are obviously economy books. Let's see if these are economy or economy fast track. Fast track economy, fast track economy, mostly fast track economies, and just 2 moderns. So still waiting on a lot of the old fashioned regular economies, guys. Still waiting on a bunch of those. We have an Avengers number 2 and a 5.5. Really nice. And we have Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 4, classic Steranko cover, and a 7.0 as well. What's going on down there? Yeah, it looks like the inner well strikes again, my friends. Look at this. The inner well strikes again. But I mean, it's like every book has those little inner well problems, it seems. Let's go back over to the chat room and see what you guys are talking about. Wayne, She-Hulk on Disney, watch the whole show for 2-sec reveal and the last second of the show. You know, they didn't even give us the post-credit scene last week. Like they set up these post-credit scenes every week and then they don't give us one last week. So we're sitting there waiting for it. Like why set that up and then not give? I don't understand. The show is just whacked. All those Disney Plus shows are just whacked. Travis, how you doing, buddy? Just stopped in. Good to see you, Travis. Dennis says, think of She-Hulk as silly cartoon and it's much better. Maybe. I just don't even want to think about it, to be honest. And even Star Wars, man. This whole Andor thing, like I'm not even excited for it because they've let me down so many times. I was like, yeah, whatever. We'll see. Travis, like button smash. Thank you, Travis. Certainly appreciate that, brother. Thomas says, hello, Kevin. Looking for a Hulk 181. Who's got one for me? Ooh, anybody got a Hulk 181 for sale? Thomas Grant is looking for one. There's a couple on Facebook I saw today. Or show like the comics. These shows are not like the comics. That's the problem, I think. That is one of the big problems, methinks. All right, what else we have here? Let's go back and have a look-see. This one comes from our thumbnail. We have... Oh, come on. There we go. We have an Atom number 3 and a 6.5. We have a Silver Surfer number 2. I'm just checking for cracks, guys. I don't want them to evade me. And a 9.0. That's a nice grade there for a nice Silver Surfer number 2. We also have a Batman 181 with the first appearance of Poison Ivy and a 5.0. I've been seeing this book a lot more lately. Also from our thumbnail, we have a Marvel Premiere 3 and a really nice grade and a 9.2 as well. Pretty nice. I'll clean these babies up. James says, I think the next show I'm looking forward to is the next Mandalorian season. Yeah, I am as well, I guess. I just, all these shows, like what a letdown. What a letdown, eh? What a letdown on Boba Fett. What a letdown on Ben Kenobi. What a letdown on She-Hulk. What a letdown on, they've just all been, Disney does not know how to do TV. They don't know how to do TV. I think maybe hopefully they're learning. Notice how they're not putting out any Star Wars movies. I think they're afraid to put out Star Wars movies now. They're trying to figure out what to do. They're freaking out because the fan base is divided. So they're not even putting out Star Wars movies anymore. And Marvel's is just, I'm sorry, these shows are just not cutting it. And these new movies have not been all that great either. So I don't know. Maybe it's time for DC to take control for a while. Wise Canuck says, wish it was similar to Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, but a little less silly. I'm not familiar with that. But yeah, I just think they missed a great opportunity. They always seem to miss these great opportunities. Who was I talking to the other day? I go, why didn't Force Awakens work? I mean, it's not a hard formula. The formula is very simple. Luke, Leia, and Han. There you go. Put them in a movie. Luke, Leia, and Han. That's what we all wanted, and that's what none of us got. And that was a big no-no. So, and we've talked about that here before. All right, let's go back to the comics. We have Army at War in a 7.0, 150. Straighten it up for you before I go over there. A 151. That's a nice looking book. We've got a Conan the Barbarian number 24. in a 6.5. Not bad. We have another one, actually. A second Conan in a 7.5. And if you're in the mood for Conan the Barbarian, well, you come to the right place, my friends. We have a 23 and an 8.0. I love those early Conan books, too. All right, let's go back to chat again as I pack these babies up. Dennis says, the excellent idea requires, like mature writers, with smarts and a wicked sense of humor. And they just don't have it. Ooh, did I jump there? I think I jumped. Whoops. I did jump. Wow, I jumped a lot. Sorry about that, guys. Let me go back up. Ooh, where was I? Peter G. Hey, made it to a live show. Peter, long time, my friend. Good to see you. Nice to see some DC. I bet. I know I have both Superman issues. Yes, you do. We've got a big order of yours in the economy tier we're waiting for still. Good to see you again. Henry says, She-Hulk's supposed to be a comedy. Not very funny at all. Exactly. I'm not laughing my head off with this show. And you know how she's supposed to always look at the camera and break the fourth wall? It's almost like an afterthought now. I think it happened once in the last episode. It's just inconsistent dribble. Inconsistent dribble. And I don't care. I don't care. And I don't think most of us like it. I don't know. Garbage. Dennis says, I'll give you 99 cents for Blockbuster. Yeah, it's not mine. And I don't think they would take that. Pete Bales, how you doing, Pete Bales? Good to see you, man. Love that Avengers 2. It is a sweet-looking book. Henry says, well, now I know nothing of mine will be in that box. The wait, yeah, you're going to be soon, though. It's coming soon. I think October, we're going to see yours, probably. Because yours, again, were those terrible economy books. And because of those economy books, they're basically a year from the moment I sent them. So... But I've learned my lesson, and I'm no longer using the economy tier. So that's good news. The bad news is there's probably about 16 or actually more. There's probably about 25 of you guys out there that have books in the economy tier going up until, because I use the economy tier up until probably May, June. So yeah. So unfortunately, some of you people out there, my friends, my good friends who gave me books, economy books, up until probably May or June, some of you will be waiting until at that time next year to get them back. Unless, of course, there is some kind of miracle and they start doing those books really quickly, because like I mentioned before, the modern books are coming back super, super fast. Like I sent in some books 3 weeks ago, they're already done. They're getting done within a month, with under a month's time. So the moderns are lickety split. It's those economies that are taking forever. Dennis, I like the outro song on She-Hulk. I don't even remember it. I think I do. It's instrumental, isn't it? Like it's like orchestrated, I think. Don White, love the Nick Fury. I love the Steranko Nick Furies. You can't go wrong there. John Sherwood says, I'll have a Hulk 181 in a few weeks. That's true. Yes, that is true. John Sherwood will have a Hulk 181 in a few weeks if somebody's in the market for those, for a copy. Rob Bin says, when's the next sale on your channel? Well, I was trying to get another sale up for this Saturday. I couldn't find anybody because it's like this, guys. You just can't say, let's do it. It requires a lot of prep work, right? For example, Roy, when we did the last one, he had to price out all the books. He rebagged and boarded them all. He graded them all and he priced them accordingly. And you have to have the prices on the books. You can't just wing it, right? It's no good for the seller. It's certainly not good for the buyer. Actually, probably for the buyer if you're winging it, but it's not good for the seller to do that. So most guys, when I tell them, how about next week? They're like, oh, I'm not ready. So they're not ready. So the next sale for sure in the books, on the calendar, is October the 7th. Friday, the October the 7th. It's Steve. Peterborough Steve, Blade Man Steve, he's coming back. He's going to have a ton of Black Dot specials. And Steve has also told me, he said, Kevin, I'm only bringing books from 65 to 79 or 81. I think it was 81. So if you like your Silver and Bronze Age, you don't want to miss that sale on October the 7th. He's going to have the Black Dot specials, 50% off a lot of books. So come on by for that. Put it in your calendar. Now, will there be another sale between now and October the 7th? There might be. And I have several other ones lined up into October and November as well. So again, if you have books you want to sell, you don't have to leave your house, my friends. You can stay right there. All you need is a really good connection to the internet. A tripod helps to put your phone on, and somewhere where you can display your comics, and I can help you do the rest, right? So if you have books you want to sell, I'd say at least 50 to 70 books. Give me a holler. Email me, text me, or whatever, and I can tell you the details about that. But yeah, so October the 7th for sure is the next one. David, I finally caught you live. David, good to see you. Glad you're here. A Ranger for collectors. I'm looking for any Ranger comics. Oh, you know who I think has Ranger comics? I think Tony Iedzi has Ranger comics. Look for Tony Iedzi on Instagram. I think he has Ranger comics. And if I'm not mistaken, he had some for sale on my first sale. So check out Tony Iedzi, Iezzi, on Instagram. Tell him the Comic Doctor sent you and you're looking for Ranger books. I'm pretty sure he has some. A lot, actually. Uncle Rob says that Picard season 3 is outstanding. Yeah, I don't know how was he able to read. He read that, eh? So looking forward to watching that, because I did not care for season 1. I didn't even watch season 2. I didn't bother. But I'll check out season 3. Apparently, it's like an extension. He's talking. Dennis is talking about Star Trek and Picard season 3. I'm hearing that Picard season 3 is almost like an extension of the Next Generation. So if you're a Next Generation fan, you probably want to tune into Picard season 3 when it airs later this year, probably. So I'll watch that too, because I was a huge fan of Next Gen. And if Rob Meyer Burnett is saying it's good, then it must be, because he hates all modern Star Trek, or not. Yeah, he's not a fan of it. So John says, with a Hulk 180 to go with it. Yeah, John, that's right. You can't have a 181 without a 180, without a 180 and a 182, right? The P-Man, I agree. They leave a lot on the table with their movies lately. Totally, P-Man. James says, I have a couple of Ranger comics. What numbers are you looking for? So Ranger, you can talk to the Real Hyperion about those. Kevin, have you noticed the comic market is taking a dive? GPA shows a downward trend. Any thoughts? I'm sitting on a huge collection. I hope my investment is safe. Well, yeah, will we ever get back to the prices we had, 4, 5, 6 months ago? Listen, I'm going to tell you something, Dave. You're not alone. I missed the boat, okay? I was so busy pressing everybody else's books that I missed the hype. I have so many books that are now worth $100, $75 that were worth $500, $600, $700. I missed the boat. Will the books get back to that level? Probably not for a very long time, especially when I'm talking the modern stuff, right? So I don't know, David, exactly what you have in your collection. When it comes to stocks, they say if your stock plummets and you sell your stock, you lose. You don't lose if you hang on to it. It's once you sell is when you lose, right? So my suggestion is to hang tight. If it's driving you crazy and you have to sell, then I guess sell. But I mean, I don't think the prices are ever going to get quite as high as they were. I should never say never. There could be a spike again. Who knows? But that was unprecedented, right? The COVID prices were crazy. I'd never seen books, like modern books, sell for quite that much. And I personally don't think we're going to see it like that for a very, very long time myself. But what do I know? I mean, I'm not freaking out. I'm not running around and doing a fire sale trying to get rid of my books, David. They're all in storage. They're all, my big ones are at the bank, and I just leave them there, and that's that, and hope for the best. Will my AF-15 be worth, in 10 years what it was worth 6 months ago? I don't know. I had never had plans on selling it, so to me, it's kind of a non-issue. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. I feel bad because I know a lot of guys were holding out. And I'm a collector more than I am a dealer, more than I am a seller. I like to just hang on to my stuff. So for me, it is what it is. But I don't know. But yeah, you're right. The prices on most stuff is trending down, not up. So a good time to maybe buy, but not a great time to sell, I don't think. I don't think I really answered your question. I apologize. I don't know what to tell you. I just think the market's like the stock market. It goes like this. As well as I do, when there's an announcement, things are going to spike, but then things settle back down again. It's like that with anything. So, I mean, we still haven't got any X-Men notices. We haven't got any real Fantastic Four information yet. I think that, and I think that those are two areas that there's areas to make money. I think you should be buying up your X-Men books now, picking up your X-Men stuff. We don't know which characters are going to be in it. Like, for example, say Polaris becomes a major player in the X-Men series. We don't know that she is or isn't, but if she is, holy cow, man, that X-Men 49 and 50 are going to take off, right? It's already starting to trend up, those books, I think. But as soon as they make an announcement, it's going to go crazy. Same with Wolverine and Hulk 181. And I agree. Now's a good time to pick one up, I think, because I really do believe that book is still going to go crazy. But I don't know. I'm just going on a tangent now, David. Did I answer any of your question? I just think it's a little volatile right now. Pick and choose what you sell wisely, because and listen to what's happening in the entertainment industry, because obviously we've come to learn that what happens in the entertainment industry directly impacts the values of these books, right? What happens on the small screen, the big screen especially, really impacts what happens with the value of these books. Dennis says, I like Multiverse of Madness, so shoot me. I did not hate Multiverse of Madness. I think it had some good moments. And if you were a Sam Raimi fan, you probably really enjoyed it. I liked the throwbacks to his previous movies. It was really Sam Raimi-esque, and I did enjoy that. I just did not like, they didn't utilize those characters. They spent more time with that Christine Palmer character than I've talked about this before, but I don't care about Christine Palmer. She was a non-issue to me. You had Mr. Fantastic, Professor X, you had Black Bolt, you had Captain Marvel, and you had what's her face? The female Captain America. I always forget her name. Peggy Carter, and you did nothing with them. That was, to me, the biggest letdown of that movie. They could have had a lot more fun with those characters. Again, going back to No Way Home, what they did with the Spider-Man in those movies, people thought those Spider-Man were going to be quick cameos, and they weren't. They were integral parts, a part of that film, and that's what I thought. They gave those characters some really meaty parts, and that was good. I felt that the Madness movie, those Professor X and all those characters, they were just kind of like cameos, really quick cameos. They didn't have enough to do, and that bothered me. And they gave Christine Palmer way too much screen time. I can't stand her. Can't stand the actress. I can't stand the character. Get rid of her. That's me. If it wasn't for that, it would have been to me almost as good as Spider-Man. But the Scarlet Witch stuff was great. The Scarlet Witch chase scene in the tunnel was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, get rid of Christine Palmer. Marco's here. Well, they screwed the pooch on Star Wars. Oh yeah, and how do you screw the pooch on Star Wars, man? And they did. You're right. Don't even get me started. Oh boy, I keep jumping around. Sorry, guys. Dennis says Luke, Han, Leia, Leia. Yeah. No, I don't think it was too complicated. They just. I said this. It's like everyone's complaining nowadays about, not being represented in the movies, different cultures, different, genders, whatever. How about different ages? Why are they afraid to put old people in a movie and have them be leads? It's ageism, right? It's like, oh, they're too old. We can't make action figures of old Luke or old Han or old. Who's going to buy those action figures? Everyone's going to buy those action figures because we love those characters. And I'm thinking, well, do you not remember a character known as Gandalf? He kicked ass in Lord of the Rings. He was like the main awesome hero, and they didn't give those three Star Wars characters the respect and honor they deserve. They put them to the side, like they put them out to pasture because they were too old, and that was a big mistake. They didn't respect them, and they didn't give those characters enough to do. Peter G, streaming channels are just about content. Yeah, true. Four Ranger Collector says, anyone notice how bad the Vegas show flopped? No, I wasn't paying attention about that, so it didn't do very well. Michael running my first live show, loving it. Oh, Michael, thanks, buddy. Glad you're here, man. Sam T says, October is not that far off. Someday my books will come. Someday my books will come. Yes, they will. Henry says, if they come in October, they might make it back in time for my anniversary. Should I consider them a gift? Yeah. Yes, you should. I should have canned on that economy a long time ago. I don't know why I kept sending the books in. I kept seeing the timelines extending, like the turnaround times. Like, people will wait. But when it got to like 200 almost 250 days. I should have canned. Other guys did can, and I should have jumped on the. I just kept putting the stuff in. I wasn't really thinking about it too much, and I did the same thing with the value when they had the value tier years ago. The value tier maxed out at 180 business days, and that was too long. And so I canned on the value tier. Back in those days, I stopped with that tier because it was just too much waiting around. And the problem with me is I have open invoices for way too long, and I hate that. I just don't like it. So again, I apologize for that, guys, but it is what it is. Guess I'm waiting for my 25 plus books too. Then, if they are economy regular, if I build you, Man Bat Detective, you want to look at the time I billed you? They probably received them at CGC about a month earlier. You probably look, if it's economy, almost a year. I'm not lying. It's the way it is. I unfortunately, but if it's economy fast track, then you'll get them back in a few months, a couple of months probably. Wayne, can you press and clean Mighty Midget books? Are those fat ones? If so, I don't think so. Because they're really fat, and I'd have to create a special. I'd have to create special boards for them. It would be kind of a pain. A guy asked me today if I did Treasury Edition books, and I can. And I think someone else, was it Sam asked me that maybe? Do I do Treasury Edition, the big Treasury Edition books? I don't because it takes up too much time. I have to cut special papers for them and stuff. I don't do that. Right now, I don't. If I have more time in future, then I will. But right now, any specialty books, even magazines, I don't really want to do right now. I got a huge order of magazines coming in, so I have no choice. But I don't love to do magazines. It just throws me off my routine, right? Naveed, long time, man. How's it going? Love that you're doing this. Need to get some books over to you. Naveed, yeah, anytime, my friend. Anytime. Pete Bales, love the Black Dot sales, but my internet lag didn't allow me to grab any at the last sale. Maybe I'll have better luck in the next sale in October. Pete Bales, I think the trick is having a a wired internet connection. I think if you're going Wi-Fi, if you're on Wi-Fi, or if you're using your data on your phone, maybe there's more of a lag. I think if you got a strong like wired Ethernet connection, you'll probably be better. And I would turn on your computer fresh, so everything's running at top-notch speed. Because you're not alone. A lot of guys were complaining, I can't get it. So yeah. Yeah, you wanna make sure that your system's running really well. 6581 perfectly aligns with my adolescence. Well, then you want to come to the sale then, Dennis. Four Ranger says, thank you, sir, no problem. Wayne, are you in live chat mode? I was in live chat mode. It got moved to top chat. Now I'm in live chat mode. Did it screw everything up? There we go. Wayne, the only safe bets with comics are Platinum, Golden Age, and Silver Keys. Well, yeah, and going back to David's thing, I mean, I think you are safe with the Silver Age, Golden Age, of course, and with the Bronze Age stuff. Especially the Bronze Age stuff now is really starting to heat up. It's the modern stuff that's very, very volatile. Like things like that Spider-Man #1, the what's it called? Torment? The Torment? Those things were crazy money. They've come right down. Like all that stuff has come right down. They're still worth a little bit of money, but they're just not worth what they were worth, a few months back when everybody was jumping on the bandwagon and buying everything they could find, right? So Chuck says, if you bought your books 5+ years ago, you should be fine. The market was due for a serious price correction. And once the economy starts to turn up, I think I'll see a gradual. And that's true, too. The economy now, guys, interest rates are going up. People are freaking out a little bit about that, right? So spending habits are going to change. And David says, I don't need to sell it all. I mostly have silver and bronze. I like having them. I'm thinking long haul as well. Yeah, and I'm in the same boat as you, sir. And don't get me wrong, I did think of unloading them. I did. But then I thought, if I unload these books, I'm never going to own them again. If I sell my Hulk #1, I'm never going to buy. It took me forever to find that damn book and even have enough books to put towards it. It takes a long time. It took me a long time to acquire those books. I don't want to give them away. I'd rather wait 20 years and let them go then. And they'll probably be worth even double. They should be worth double what they are now in 20 years. And if I'm still here, you know what? I got more books to show you guys. Let me go back and do that. And then we'll continue the chat in a moment. Let me get it set up for you. This is a great book right here. The book that was heated up quite a bit. And I'm not sure if it still has its value or not. It's a Journey to Mystery Annual #1, first appearance of Hercules in a 3.5. Another book I'm seeing a lot lately is Amazing Spider-Man 136. Great classic Green Goblin cover there. Another awesome cover here in Teen Titans #1. This is like 66. Again, I mean, it's not a bad cover. I like this cover. It doesn't compare to Marvel covers again. The DC stuff in the 60s were really kind of hit and miss. I don't mind this one, but it certainly isn't like a, top 10 Silver Age cover, that's for sure. We have a Peter Parker 98 with a Black Cat appearance in a 9.6 white pager. And we have one more book. Well, no cracks, it looks like, in these submissions, which is great. We have a Daredevil 131 and a 7.5. There we go. Not bad at all. All right, so that's the books, guys. Let's go back to the chat. A lot of you guys are still, you're in a talkative mood today, and that's fine. David, I don't need to sell. Oh, we said that already. Dennis says COVID prices, COVID beards. It's always COVID. It was. Dennis says never buy or sell out of fear. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, I remember when I did really well with AMC. I always thought when AMC was really down, I thought when COVID hit, I said AMC's going to bounce back. The movie theaters will never go away. So I bought I think $1,500 or $1,000 in AMC shares at $2.15 a share. Then that whole Reddit thing happened, and what do you call it? The GameStop thing, right? You had these guys pushing these shares up, and I remember I was watching TV and I was just checking my stocks, and it said that AMC was at, I think, $25 a share. I'm like, what? I paid $2 a share. So I made a quick, 10 grand or something like that. I was so happy. Next morning, I woke up and I was ready to sell. I sold them all. And then I kind of, and I sold them. By the time everyone thought the same way I did. By the time I sold, I got like $18 a share for them. I think I forget how many shares I have, but it turned out to be around 10 grand. So I made 10 grand like that. I was so happy. But then the next couple of days, I started getting remorse. I shouldn't have sold it. Maybe I should have. And I started buying some more. And then it was so volatile that I kept buying and selling and buying. And I kept losing. Lost $400 here, $500 there. I bought some BlackBerry, lost money there. I'm like, oh, I was watching all these GameStop channels, telling you which ones to buy. And anyways, I probably lost $800 in a couple of days. And I'm like, screw this. I'm not made for this. And I'm not made for buying and selling stocks. So I left it alone. Now, what happens with and I had bought back some AMC at like $12 or $10 a share. AMC eventually went for almost $65, $70 a share. Had I just left them alone for a few more weeks, I could have made like $35,000 on $1,000 or $1,500 investment in under 6 months. See, I was pretty pissed off, but I get all anxious, right? I get all anxious and I get all fearful. I'm going to lose my money and so I'm not good for that. So Dennis is 100% right. You don't want to sell it of fear. I don't think an Amazing Fantasy 15 is ever going to never be worth anything. And you think for a second that once Sony is done with this iteration of Spider-Man, they're not going to go back and do it again. Of course they are. Now, whether it'll be popular or not, I have no idea. But don't think for a second that Disney or Sony or Warner Brothers are ever going to stop with these IPs. They're going to be there forever. Now, we could have a lull. We could get, sick and tired of the superhero genre for a little while, but they're going to come back again. They're bringing Constantine back, I heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard that they're doing that. It's an old movie with John Wick, with Keanu Reeves, right? We revisit this stuff. People love this stuff. And so I'm not really worried about it. Maybe 100 years from now, I might be worried about it. But for the next 30 years, I think we're pretty safe. I think. And I could be wrong. Maybe tomorrow the friggin' AF-15s will be worth $1,000. I doubt it. But you never know. David says, your answer was fine. I just wanted hear your thoughts. Yeah, it's like I said, it's up or down, here or there. Every day I feel a little bit differently, but I do agree with what most are saying here, that I think if you stick with your Silver Age keys, your Bronze keys, even your Ghost Rider, first appearance of Ghost Rider, all those, I think we're going to be pretty safe. It's that new stuff that I think you got to be a little bit worried about, especially if they're in like, what do you call it? High print runs, right? Something like Batman Adventures 12 with the first Harlequin, that's a low print run, right? So a 9.8 now is going for $4,000. That book's not going down. That book's just trending up. So, I mean, some books are holding steady. 4K Canadian, I believe. Thomas, looks like we'll be sitting on our comics for a bit longer, not selling on the downward, maybe a big purchase or trade. Yeah, and that's it. You might put into something else, right? Who knows? Hail from Alaska. Jim from Alaska. How are you, Jim? Good to see you. Dennis says, ooh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Holy cow. Sorry, guys. I think he's bumping around. No Way Home spoiled less than extraordinary films. I liked it. So I'm not sure if you liked it or not, but I did like it. Chuck says Yoda was 900 years old. You know, look this good. You don't look that good. You're 900 years. He looked pretty good for an old. He looked pretty good for an old alien, that's for sure. Dennis says, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Peter G, Silver and early Bronze Age have likely come back to 2020 prices, which would likely make sense in the bigger picture. COVID spike was not sustainable. Of course not. But again, I think that perhaps these books, as the popularity of these characters continues to rise, and they do, and they will, these books, I think people will want them for their collection, right? And the prices will therefore go up. They're not making these anymore, right? They're not making any more AF-15s. No, the old Wiz Comics, midget comics? I don't know what you mean, Wayne. David V, you're right, Peter. Yep. Dennis, Ethernet still exists? Of course it does. David V, I'm 56. I don't collect the new stuff. And I'm with you, David. I'm 51 in a month. And I do not collect anything new at all. I mean, I will buy, like, for example, I got a copy of The Boys, you know, I like the show, and I bought it, and it came back in 9.8. But, like, I mean, I'll pick and choose, but I'm not buying new comics. I'm not going to the comic store and buying new comic books. How many of you guys are? How many of you guys go to the comic stores and buy new comic books every day on Comic Book Day? Because I don't. I haven't for years. It's a lot of money, and I'd rather buy vintage books. Dennis, Hulk 1 for your retirement. Yeah, tell me about it. Scott Riley, hey man, how's it going from Japan? Scott, how you doing, man? How's it going? Glad you could join us, sir. David V says, I was a kid, we used to say DC stood for dumb comics, Marvel rules. And you know what? I agree with you. As a kid, Marvel comics were just a cooler comic book company. It just was. You know, Batman was cool, and some of the stuff DC was putting out was all right, but just Marvel always, I always preferred the character. I'm always a Superman fan, more than Batman. When it comes to DC, I was always a Superman fan. But yeah, the Hulk and Spidey and the rest, come on, man. The Defenders, I love that stuff. 70s and 80s, baby. I'm right with you. Dennis Mason, 10 grand would send me to Tahiti. I've got way more than 10. I can go to Tahiti a lot of times with my collection, but again, I don't know if I want to sell it. I don't know if I want to sell it just yet. Rob Bin's talking to Wayne. I think, whoop, here, jumped again. Sorry. Hey, Wayne, I think you're talking about the mini comics that came in cereal box. I'm not sure. Doc, what other collectibles are you into? Rob, I am into anything that reminds me of my childhood, I think. You know, I've talked about the Migos already on here many times. I don't know if my wife's watching or not. I just bought 31 Star Wars action figures from a guy in Quebec, and they're on their way. Maybe I'll do an unboxing. I mean, I have all, if I could turn this around, I could show you all my Star Wars action figures. They're all right there mounted on the wall. All original ones, every single one from 1978 all the way to 85. But I wanted some for the shop, to sell at the shop. So I found this collection. They're all loose, and they're all, don't have any guns. They're all pretty played with, but I mean, they'll be very reasonably priced. But the deal, it seemed like a good deal. So I bought them. Right. Anyways, they'll be here, I think, tomorrow or on today's Tuesday. I think today's Tuesday, right? Today's Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure what day it is. They'll be here tomorrow or the next day. And when they come, I'll do an unboxing and show you what I picked up from Quebec. But yeah, so action figures, toys, even video games. Like, I bought a lunchbox. I showed here the other day. I put it away now, but I have an old lunchbox. And so anything that reminds me of my childhood and is toy related or comic book related, I am into that. I'd be totally into. I'd like to start getting into real artwork, comic book artwork, but I can't afford that. It's just way too expensive. I mean, I could probably afford some stuff, but the stuff I'd want would be way too expensive. I wish I got into that a lot earlier. It would have been a lot of fun to have that stuff. Yeah, I mean, to give you an example, I think I showed this stuff to you before. Oh, hold on a second. I'll show you what I'm into, Rob Bin. Hold on. I mean, this is just silliness, but hold on a second. I'll grab it. Again, guys, this is just silliness. This is me just being kooky, right? Here, I'll go back to the overhead and I'll show you some of this stuff. This is my and I think Wayne's seen this stuff already. I showed this a little while ago, and I've just been buying this stuff up over the last little, when I could find them, I grab them, things like this. I'm starting to get into putting together, this is like our autographs from actors from my favorite sitcoms from the 70s. So I started doing WKRP in Cincinnati. It's one of my favorite ones, and that's obviously Gordon Jump there, and I have some more from there. I have Lucille. I've almost got them all. I just need two more. Got Howard Hessman. Oh, they're all in the same. I got Howard Hessman there. He passed away just not too long ago, which was quite sad. I dig on that. I dig that stuff. What else do I have? Any more in here? Oh yeah, there we go. This is a great one right here. This one is Tim Reed, right there. That's a nice one, right? Thought I had. Oh yeah, there she is. Got Lonnie here. Got Lonnie Anderson. And what's her name? This lady here. This is Carol Bruce, who played Mrs. Carlson. And then I have. This one was a hard one to get. You don't see this one very often, believe it or not. You see lots of Lonnie Anderson, Jan Smithers, So I only need Herb Tarlick. So I need Frank Bonner. I need Richard Sanders, who played Les Nessman. I need Gary Sandy, who played Andy. And I almost had the Frank Bonner one. I missed it. It was really well priced and I missed it. I even have this awesome, this came from, I forget who sold me this. This came from a guy in, here, I'll show it to you close up. This is really cool. It's an actual studio ticket from the actual show. Stage 4, they would actually give tickets out for people to go see the show live, and this came from a guy whose dad, or he was down in LA when they were filming, and he got, I picked that up. Surreal. So my plan is to put a nice frame. I'm going to have all these, when I have every single one, I'm going to send them all to PSA and have the signatures authenticated. That'll probably cost me a pretty penny, and then I'm going to have them put in a really cool frame with WKRP. It's my all-time favorite sitcom, right? So that kind of stuff. Anything nostalgia related, I absolutely love. So yeah, that's what I'm into, and toys and all that kind of stuff. But hope that answers your question. What else are you into, Rob? Henry says should have, could have, would have. Yeah, we always feel that way sometimes. Dennis says DC stands for believe it or not detective. Well, we know that. Come on. Batman was the first noir costume hero after the Shadow. He was, and far more popular than the Shadow, or I should say, longer lasting than the Shadow. That's for sure. The P-Man. That's why I chose to collect Golden Age Disney. Now those are pretty hot too. Those could be pretty pricey. That's for darn sure. No Robin. There were 12 made in total. I'm not sure what we're talking about again. I missed it. Dennis, No Way Home was insanely bold. I liked the insanity of it, to be honest. I had so much fun at No Way Home. I was smiling ear to ear. My daughter's looking at me, and I was going, I'm having so much fun with this movie. It was just so nostalgic and fun, and they creatively brought that those other Spider-Man universes into the MCU fold, and it made everything possible, which I thought was really, really cool. Oh, what does that say? Oh, I missed that there. Oh, what the heck's going on here? Jumped again. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, what the heck happened? There we go. Peter G. GameStop and the like is purely speculating. It's not investing. Speculation is what is happening with comics and other collectibles. Follow Warren Buffett, buy and hold. Yeah, Peter, you're right. And I'm not that kind. I'm not a good investor. I was speculation. I was getting freaked out. When I woke up and saw that my $2 investment would turn into $25 or $27 per share, I was flipping out. I was pretty happy, and I knew something was going on. It was weird, and you're right. It was all speculation, and it wasn't fraudulent, but it was inflated, falsely inflated, really, right? And look at it now. It's like what? Last time I checked, I think AMC was at like $12 maybe, or $7, I think, something like that. So, but that actually saved AMC's life, that influx of capital, right? So interesting. You didn't buy all those Batman 423 foils at Fan Expo. Buy for 30, sell for 150. No, I didn't buy a darn thing from Fan Expo. Blade Man is here, guys. Look who's here. It's Steve. Peterborough Steve is right here. And he is the man with the plan. He is the Black Dot Special. He is going to be sharing books with us on October 5th. So if you have any requests, things you want to see on that for sale, talk to Blade Man 408. He is Peterborough Steve. Let him know what you're looking for. Nuck and Flux is here. How you doing? Dadam Donnelly, definitely cutting back on moderns to focus on keys and classics. Good move, dude. Henry says, only item I still buy is Fantastic Four. I can't stand how they keep changing. Issue number 6? Is that 6? That's 6, right? I'm not good with Roman numerals. Blade Man says, pulling some nice books out for the big sale. Excellent. And maybe you can clarify 408. It's 1965 to 1981, right? That's what you're going to focus on. Dennis says, action figure teaser for Kev. Yeah, I love it. I love my action figures too. Henry, issue volume. Oh, I see. Okay. David, yes, do the unboxing. I will do it. When they get here, they're going to get here tomorrow, the next day, I will do that. Blade Man 408, some real nice Black Dot specials. The Black Dot specials. Wait, I remind Kevin of his childhood. LOL. Living around the corner from him in his youth. Hey, did I sell you my Micronauts at my yard sale back in? I wish you did. I don't. That's the one thing I don't have that I wish I still had, was my Micronauts. I miss my Micronauts, and they are so expensive. They're so expensive to buy. Even like just loose figurines are like really, really expensive. They're very rare, and I had the Battle Cruiser, man. I love that thing. I had so much fun with that thing. I really love Micronauts. And I also like the I never collected them. I only had one or two, but they were very, very expensive. Were the the Shogun Warriors, the big metal Shogun Warriors. Those were sick. Way out of my price league. And I never did get. I had a couple of the smaller metal ones. They're heavy. They're die cast, really heavy, made in Japan. Those things were wicked, but I never got into it. I always really liked them though. They're toys I really, really wanted. Tuesday, sir. Thank you. Nuck and Fut says, any vinyl Jawas? I have a vinyl Jawa right there. He's loose. He's mine from when I was a kid. And I had an 8.0 vinyl Kate Jawa AFA, and I stupidly sold it. Don't even ask. Let's not talk about it. I don't want to talk about that. There's a Jawa in that collection that's coming in, but there's no cape. It's just a Jawa. So, but these guys are going to sell. When I get these action figures, they're going to sell anywhere from $10 to $20 each. They're very Canadian. They're very, they're not complete, but they're all there. There's some nice ones in there, and you'll see them, and that's what I'll charge for them. They won't be very expensive. Wayne, true story about my Micronaut figures. Sold them for 24 cents. My brother bought them all back for me 2 Christmases ago. Baron cards. Oh, it's sick. I love that. That is awesome. That was nice of him to buy those back for you. Telescoping figures. Let me tell you a telescoping figure story, guys. So I don't know if you know this. I'm sure Nucking Futz knows this. That before the Star Wars action figures, Luke, Ben, and Vader had little lightsabers that fit in their hands, and they kind of just stuck, they always broke, and you put like, toothpicks or something in there to replace them, right? But, the Star Wars action figures, they're going to sell anywhere from $10 to $20 each. They're very Canadian. They're the earlier ones had telescoping lightsabers, which means they still went in that way, but when you pushed them out, you pulled the lightsaber and it actually it opened in 3 pieces or 2 pieces or something like that. Never had one. So I'm on Facebook Marketplace, and this dude who just right next door to me is selling some Star Wars action figures. And believe it or not, this Luke Skywalker he had still had the little tip that always falls off. I look closer, and it's a freaking telescoping. It's a telescoping what do you call it? Lightsaber. I'm like, oh my god, $20. $20. I call him up. I want it. He's not answering. I want it. I claim. I sold it. Oh my god, you sold it. I go, what'd you sell it for? He said, yeah, I gave it you gave it to me $15. I'm like, oh my god, you sold it $15. Yeah, that was my only run-in with a telescopic or whatever you want to call it, lightsaber. Yeah. Would have been cool. Sam T, you have a nice Neil Adams sketch at the store, Kevin. I'm jealous. Now, that's not a real sketch. Real signature of Neil Adams. This is to Kevin from Neil Adams. My buddy Adam gave me that. It's a print. It's a print, a Neil Adams print. That would have cost a fortune to have Neil Adams do that. But I framed it. It looks really nice. It's an authentic signature, but it's a print. Sam, don't be too jealous. Still cool to have nonetheless, man. Wayne says, Mr. Carlson, WPIG. No, it doesn't. WPIG doesn't rule. Dennis makes a Fender. I'm selling my Japanese Squire Strat from 81. Those are big money too. My father-in-law is big into Fender Stratocasters and Telecasters. That's his game. Have tons of actors and SIGs. Love them. Yeah, they're so hard. They're so hard to get. I get nervous about buying signatures. I'm afraid they're going to be fake, right? I don't want fake signatures. So I'm very cautious when I'm buying signatures. These aren't too expensive. These are like, I think the most I spent here. I think I spent the most on the Jan Smithers. It cost me, I think it cost me $50 or $60. But the Jan Smithers one was pretty cool because look, it came with an actual Jan Smithers, letterhead. This obviously came from her office or whatever, which is pretty cool. So I felt pretty comfortable buying that one. Just got to find a Frank Bonner. Richard Sanders is hard to find. I've only ever seen one Richard Sanders. And even friggin', what's his name? Gary Sandy's hard to come by too, which I find really weird. There was one on eBay, but there wasn't a very nice signature. It was like the pen wasn't working really good, and I didn't want to buy it because of that. I've started collecting cream stub from 68. Sick. Pulp magazines, interesting. Wayne says, P. Bale's first annual Thanksgiving Day turkey drop with God as my witness. I thought turkeys could fly. One of the most classic episodes. I can watch WKRP over and over and over, and I do sometimes. Before I go to bed, sometimes I call up an episode on YouTube and I watch it. And I can watch any of the some of them are my favorite ones. I love the one where Herb goes. They have that sales meeting and he meets that woman. He's not sure who she is, and they end up starting to have they start making out on the bed and stuff, and he finds out that she was a he, and he was his best friend on the football team. It's the best. Great episode, man. And just Frank Bonner was the best. He was hilarious. I just laugh out loud on that show. Even the one where Jennifer and Andy get the nude pictures taken of them, and the guys break in to steal them. Classic episodes, man. That's good television. Dennis says, gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them. That's right. David, know when to walk away. That's right. You guys are singing together there. Blade Man 4-Way says, yes, 1965 to early 80s. Guys, you don't want to miss. And the great thing about Blade Man 408, Steve, he really grades his books well. So when he tells you it's a very fine or a fine, it is a very fine or a fine. And he usually has some really nice quality books, Wayne, I have them all. Mike, no, you don't have all the Micronauts. Do you really? I'm very jealous if you do. Nucketfut says, oh my God, crazy cheap. Yeah, I know. I would have cried. I did cry a little bit when that happened. Rob Ben says, to clarify, the sale's on October 7th, not October 5th. You mentioned both dates. Okay. It's Friday, October. Where's my phone at? It's actually on my YouTube channel already. If you go to my YouTube channel, it's already it's there. But I'll just double check here.
But perhaps I can give you justice.
What the heck is that? Calendar. Let me just make sure. I could be wrong. I think it's the 7th, I think. Yeah, it's the 7th. It's Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, October the 7th. Friday, October the 7th. So please mark that on your calendars. Sorry if I said the 5th. I was mistaken. Dennis Mason, I sold my mini Moog for the rent. Never do that. Hey, you got to live somewhere, Dennis. You got to do what you got to do. Dell Stereo's good too, and Bucky. Yeah, Bucky. I like 2 episodes. I love Bucky on the baseball episode. Dennis Mason, in 2031, the Smithsonian bought the Doc's WKRP collection for 19,000 euros. Yeah, I've got a feeling. What I would really like is an actual. Okay, listen, Dennis Mason, you live in California, you live in Hollywood, don't you? You got to find me an original script of WKRP. I don't care what episode. I want an actual working script. Get on it. I don't want to spend much money either. That's the trick. I'm tasking you to do this, Dennis. Find me an original copy, working script from WKRP in Cincinnati. I'll love you forever. Because I want to put that in my my display when I finally get it all done. Nucky Fut says, love that show, but I was more a Three's Company man. That's funny you should say that. You were more of a Three's Company man, were you? I wonder if I still have it here. I hope I didn't lose it. Let's see. Funny you should say that, because I was also a Three's Company man, and do I still have it? I better still have it. It might not be in here, though. I thought I put it in here. I was going to start that, too. Three's Company was the other one. And I actually have a signature here somewhere. I thought I did. I bought it. Hope I didn't lose it. I probably tucked it inside somewhere. Or it could be up there somewhere. Mr. Angelino. Remember Mr. Angelino? He's the first one I got. It's got to be here somewhere. I'll find it. But yeah, I was going to start doing, Joe Stewitt and John Ritter and Suzanne Summers and all of them. I was going to get those signatures. But to get started, I started getting some, looking for some of the cheaper ones. Mr. Angelino, kind of a harder one to find too. I have his signature somewhere, a picture. What did I do with it? Is it here? Oh, is this it right here? Oh, I think I found it. Yeah, I think I found it. Hold on. It's a weird, small little, I think this is it. I think this is it. Perfect timing. Yep. His name is Jordan Charney. Jordan Charney, Mr. Angelino from Three's Company. There you go. So there you are. But you didn't think that was coming, eh? So yeah, I'm starting to pick up these as well. I usually pick these up, I'm bored at night. I'm lying in bed and I can't sleep. I go onto eBay and I start looking for autographs. That's where I got I did a whole WKRP, like I said. There was a month where I was buying them relentlessly and they're all coming in the mail. It was pretty fun. So yeah, I'll get some of those too. So I'm with you too, man. Three's Company was the other one. Another one too was Happy Days. I was a really huge Happy Days. Oh, that Happy Days. They're not cheap, but I was going to do that as well too. But Happy Days was a favorite show of mine. Three's Company and of course WKRP were awesome. And there's more shows. I even thought of Leave It to Beaver, right? Like I even like Leave It to Beaver growing up. I used to watch that show all the time at 12:30 in the afternoon when I come home from school for lunch. I used to watch a half-hour episode and go back to school. I love that show. Let's keep looking here. David says, I picked up Daredevil 1 and 2 recently, got great deals on them. So yeah, maybe now is a good time to get the books you've been looking for. Yeah, the prices are coming down. People are freaked out. People are freaked out. They put money into these books. If they can get some of their investment back, not nice that people lose money, but it's a time that maybe people are afraid. And even though Dennis says, hold on, don't sell when you're scared, people don't listen to that advice. And they do tend to sell when they're scared. So now is not a bad time to buy. P-Man, good night, folks. Great show again, Kevin. Take care. P-Man, thanks so much for coming out. We'll see you again very soon. I have the original episodes with the original music. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's great. Should burn those for me. Dennis, I'll get on it. Script. Thank you. Three's Company comic? No way. No, it's signatures. John, I don't have the John Ritter. No, that'll come. And Don Knotts will be an expensive signature too. You know what's an expensive one? You know, the guy who played Hirsch. The guy who played a Hirsch on WKRP is not cheap. So, yeah. I never got a lightsaber as a kid. My parents bought me the space sword. Do you remember? I do. And I have the space sword somewhere. I love that. It glowed in the dark. It was fantastic. I beat the crap out of my friends with that thing. We had a lot of fun. I used it so much it actually got bent at the base. So it was kind of, did a bit of that. But I love the space sword. It was a lot of fun. Mr. Furley was the best. And he's an expensive signature to get. Dennis, Three's Company, back when women had nipples and I demonetized. Am I demonetized? No, you're not. I hated when they switched Susan Summers out. Yeah, that was kind of crappy. And even when they did, I like Mr. Furley too. But what they did to the Ropers, what's his name? The actor, it's not, his name escaped me right now. The Ropers. What they did to them was crappy. They promised those two, the actress and the actress played Mr. and Mrs. Roper, their own show. They left to do their own show. That show bombed, and then they wouldn't let them back on the show. They said, "Oh, you're done," and they just basically got rid of them. It's kind of crappy. My wife only wears big flouncy shirts. Now Moomoo's essentially, so I always call her Helen. Nice. That's funny. Knucking Fut says Mork and Mindy. I like Mork and Mindy. I didn't love Mork. Even as a kid, I watched every episode. But in retrospect, looking back, it's like, I wouldn't want to watch them again. Same with like Knight Rider and A-Team. I watched all that too, but I probably wouldn't really want to go back and watch them again. The episodes I'd like to go back and watch, believe it or not, are like the Hulk. I enjoy watching the Bill Bixby Hulk, Lou Ferrigno. I enjoy watching those from time to time. They're kind of fun to watch. But like the A-Team and Knight Rider, Fall Guy, those types of shows. I used to watch all that stuff. Isn't there Mego Happy Days? There are Mego Happy Days figures, yes, but you got to be careful because they reproduce those ones too. So you got to make sure if you buy them that they are the originals. I have a Fonz somewhere, but they made Richie and Fonzie and all the main ones. They did. Again, Mego was jumping into the licensing of anything that was popular. They picked up, you know. They even did Wizard of Oz. They did Wizard of Oz. They did the Waltons. They did a whole bunch. It was crazy. Wayne says, I swear Kev must have played together back in the day. Well, it sounds like we liked a lot of the same stuff, Wayne. That's for sure. WWF stuff. That is a little late for me. I did watch WWF. You know, I was a Hulkamaniac. You know, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, Hulkamania 2, Mr. T and all that. I didn't buy any of the toys. I didn't buy wrestling dolls and all that. They're expensive. Yeah, they're in good shape. They're quite pricey. But again, I never got into buying the toys, but I watched WWF religiously. I used to love that you'd watch, remember you'd watch Saturday Night Live and then Saturday Night Live would end. And then it was called the WWF Saturday Night Special. Was that what they're called? It was like an hour of wrestling from like 1 o'clock till 2 in the morning. Was it called Midnight Special or something like that? Or Saturday Night Special? I love those. They were fun. It wasn't every week. It was every once in a while. Yeah, I dug that. Norman Fell. Thank you, man. Norman Fell. That's right. David V. Yep, Norman Fell played Mr. Roper. Exactly. Oh my God. A-Team was the best. And back then it was, man. I did love it. David V. says, I have my Mego Captain Kirk and my $6 Million Man figures. I do too. I love them. Look through the back of the eye of the $6 Million Man. Very similar. The Boba Fett doll had the same thing. You look through the back of his eye, right? I have Mr. T's autograph. Met him when Toys R Us opened here in Canada. Oh my God, I remember that. And Whitby? Was it the Whitby location? Because I remember that, I think. Knucking Fut says, my parents were really into MASH, so I had to watch it. I like MASH now. Back then, MASH was like watching paint dry. I hated it. I didn't like MASH at all. But it's a good show. I mean, let's be honest. MASH is one of the best. Dennis says Saturday Night Special. Yes, that's right. So it was the best, man. Robin, Saturday Night's Main Event, whatever it's called. It was awesome. LOL. I had Oscar Goldman. Maskatron was awesome. And Sasquatch. Mike as damn, just caught the tail end We'll watch it in a bit. Hope you're doing well, Kev. Mike S, great. Listen, guys, if you like toys, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you a YouTube channel. I may have given it to you before. Actually, I think I mentioned it on another Mego show. If you like toys, all the toys, you want to go and check out. Let me just find them really quick. I don't want to give you the wrong one. Let me just find the right one. Hold on. Because this guy's channel is awesome. Where is it? Is this it? Yeah, I think this is it right here. If you guys like brick, if you guys like, where'd it go? If you guys like, Big Jim, Migos, Micronauts, I don't think he talks about Star Wars too much, but more of the mid 70s toys, the $6 Million Man doll toys, all that stuff. You want to check out. His name's Brian. He's a friend. We're friends on Facebook. He's a great guy. I've known Brian since I was a kid too. We used to inhabit the same comic stores, but we really never talked. But we knew of each other, but we never talked. And where I met Brian for the first time was actually at the Mego meet in North. There was a Mego meet, like a Mego convention, a very small convention of nerdy guys like me. I was in West Virginia, in Wheeling, West Virginia. I went there. And I met with, and they had this little after party, and one of the guys' hotel room was drinking beer and talking about toys and stuff. Pretty geeky place. I look over and I see this guy and I recognize him, and I'm like, "Are you from Whitby, Oshawa?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm from Oshawa." And we put two and two together. We used to shop at the same comic store. So since then, we're not best friends or nothing, but we're kind of acquaintances now. We see each other at comic stores and at conventions and whatever. But he has an amazing web channel. It's called Brick Mantooth. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Brick Mantooth. Check this guy's. Go follow him over on YouTube. He is this guy is a walking encyclopedia when it comes to toys. He actually publishes a magazine now. You can buy all over North America, your local comic store or whatever. It's called Toy Ventures. And so anywhere in North America, even in California, Florida, you're into toys, he has a magazine that talks about things like rack toys, the toys you'd buy when you're leaving the store, the cheap rack toys. And remember the old days, you had those Planet of the Apes and Batman parachute guys, you'd round them up and throw them. He has a whole magazine on that stuff. So if you dig that stuff, go check it out. And his videos are really, really good. And you're going to see some toys on there you haven't seen in a long time. You're going to have a blast. I watch his channel quite often. So go over and check it out. Later, Wayne, take it easy, buddy. Wayne, you may hate me. Never liked Mego stuff. Still don't. That's okay, Wayne. You're allowed. Robin, there used to be a pop-up toy show in Durham. Yes, they haven't had one in a long time. The best toy show now is it was called the Canadian Toy Con. It used to be called the Burlington Toy Show, and it's every 2 or 3 months, and it's actually quite good, but it's a bit of a hike. You have to go all the way out to Burlington, but that's the best one I've been to. I used to sell at that one. I used to sell toys at that one, actually. Bullet Man, the human bullet. David, he does a whole episode on Bullet Man, the human bullet. Go to Brick Mantooth's website. He does a whole episode on that. Midnight Special in the 70s, live concerts on TV, plus, oh yeah, that's right. But it's a WWF, Midnight Special or Saturday Night Main Event, whatever it's called. Wayne, Airwolf, Manimal, Automan, The Phoenix, Merlin and Me. Now there's some shows for you. How about Tales of the Golden Monkey? Remember that one? That was a pretty cool one too. Kind of like a rip-off of Indiana Jones. Dennis, Main Event, thank you. It's been a while. Toy Ventures, you got it. I'm going to check it out. Dave, yeah, you won't regret it. It's a good channel. He's so knowledgeable. Guys, I've been going for over an hour. It's time for me to hit the sack. Not hit the sack. Go chill out and hit the sack very soon. So I'm going to get out of here. Let me go over to my main camera. Guys, thanks so much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed that episode. A lot of talking about toys today. And as soon as we started talking about toys, the numbers started going down. This is the current viewers started going down a little bit. That's okay. We can go off on tangents, can't we? I hope you enjoy this unboxing. There's another box on the way now, Moderns coming. So there'll be another unboxing probably towards the end of the week. When that Star Wars stuff arrives, I'll do an unboxing of that stuff too. And keep your eye open for another episode of What's in the Press, coming probably later in the week again. I'm still not done those books I showed you on the last episode. Guys, thanks again. Have a fantastic night, and hope to see you very, very soon right here on the Comic Doctor's YouTube channel. Have a great night. Bye for now.